What is that?
Commodore 64 motherboard.
Okay.
So
I don't think I'm at the right angle. Oh, there we go.
So if you the RF shield here,
Okay.
if you move your head back and forth, you'll see the cover will come off.
Okay.
And also the magnifying glass works like a magnifying glass.
Neat.
Like you can look
That's
around
cool.
and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Calculator, I think. I can't see it in front of me. It's the calculator type.
That was my first computer, is a 64 hand-me-down. Yeah. So I did some basic programming and stuff, but at the time I was young enough that I couldn't figure out how to save it to disk. So I never really saved my programs, but did some like text, you know, those text adventure things. So I tried to make something like that. Yeah. It's super cool.
Did you ever type in from a magazine, like
the manual?
Like they would have a program in a magazine and you'd type it on
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
That's cool. Actually, I think the typewriter collector. Very nice.
Just that one.
Yeah. No, I'm a typewriter collector.
Oh, cool. That one's 96 years old.
Nice. Neat.
I got it at a garage sale for $10.
Nice. Yeah, you did well.
Yeah. I was surprised that it was like...
I haven't been to the Chicago Expo.
How's it going?
Is that a 35 millimeter?
This is an old manual lens, but it's a mirrorless camera.
Oh, okay.
Z5.
It looked like a 35 millimeter camera.
Oh, I mean, it has the same size sensor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a full frame.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I've seen some of his videos.
Ooh.
Kyle?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I've probably seen some of your videos. I came here in 2022, so it was at the other location. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, back at Elmhurst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Mind if I take a photo?
Yeah, sure.
Is that a European mostly?
No, so the MSX platform was a collaboration between Microsoft and I want to say NEC of Japan.
Oh, okay.
It's a platform that is similar in
Sony.
vintage to Apple II. Yeah, so MSX, you'll find like computers from like Fujitsu, Toshiba, Casio.
Okay.
It's
That's cool.
yeah, so it initially boots into like basic, but you can get like parts. It's that weird era of like the 80s where it's like Famicom/computer.
Nice.
It's kind of a cool era for computer. It's a strictly Japanese thing. Actually, and I think some European countries started getting on the MSX train too.
Yeah, that's where I kind of heard it from. But
because IBM had not entered the PC market in Japan yet.
Oh.
But Microsoft was glad to work with any hardware maker as long as their software was running on it. Because that was just how Microsoft operated. They didn't care who made the hardware as long as their software was on it.
That makes sense.
IBM was big man that Microsoft was making money without IBM in another country.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
And what makes these machines desirable is because of the Japanese characters. I'm Japanese, so that's why I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
So the reason these computers are more desirable for these types of games is the Japanese letters of the characters.
Hiragana, katakana.
Yeah, because they're more complicated, they require more graphics memory and more ROM. So that's the graphics hardware is just naturally more powerful than IBM.
Yeah,
that's
that
why
makes
the games
sense.
were so good.
Nice.
It's just kind of part and parcel with just how complicated Japanese letters were.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a cool platform. I already have enough hobbies, but maybe someday.
Right.
But I appreciate it exists, and maybe someday.
Yeah, that's cool.
There is a difference between MSX and this like MSX2 Plus. I'm not privy on those differences, but that's the thing too. Maybe it's like audio, or maybe it has more memory. But yeah, that's why the games are like so good because they just have the big graphics memory.
It's got a little screen on it.
I have a friend that was interested in this doodad right over here.
Yeah.
So what this is you have your Apple IIc.
Okay.
Power of USB-C.
Oh wow, that's cool.
It does like the voltage regulation, presumably.
That's neat. Yeah, I've seen them doing like recases of stuff, like the Super Nintendo era.
Oh yeah, see, there is an actually feeding USB-C and it powers your type.
That's cool.
Your Mac to be your 2C.
Take a photo of your thing here. Nice.
It is one of those inventions where the guy that made the invention was killed by his invention. He died on a Segway. The irony. Sorry to bring the room down, but fun fact. My personal answer to that last question, portrait monitors.
What is this?
Data communications. So back in the old day when you wanted two computers to talk to each other across the country, you'd set up this infrastructure and then you'd run, these are tests that's running
Nice.
an individual test.
That's cool.
So this guy's putting out a Fox test. This is a Fox. So and then I'm getting it right here and I'm capturing it. So it's going through. Pretend like this is your cross-country connection simulation.
Oh.
And then I'm loop backing it, and I'm also capturing it. So,
Oh, a T1. Okay.
You see where it says the quick brown fox?
Yeah.
So that's the
Transferring
actual
the
data that's coming out of this box.
Oh, nice. That's
So,
cool.
When you were done, you would take the box out there, take the plugs off the back of the box, and plug them right into the computer.
That's cool.
Hopefully everything worked out.
Does it use the same protocols as the current internet? Like okay.
No, it's all serial, so it's
Okay.
you're running a 2400 baud RS-232. This is a time division multiplexer, so it's taking 4 ports and putting them into one 64K link. And then this is another time division multiplexer that takes 24 of these 64K and puts them into a T1.
Oh, okay.
So you do the long all over here, then just breaks it back out. I'm only using 2 ports. In this configuration, and then the 4 ports get broken back out.
That's cool.
On this side.
So maybe it was like an offshoot of the phone networks. Was it an offshoot of the phone networks?
Yeah. You would
like an augmentation of it.
You would lease a T1 line.
Okay.
So you would lease a 4-wire.
I remember that.
Most companies would have like a telco room where the demarcation point, and the telco would be in charge of one side of it. And then you would hook up this computer, this device, this time division multiplexer, into it, and then the telco would take over and make sure the signal got to the other side wherever it needed to go. And then there would be a telco room on the other side, and it would break out again, and it would do this.
Neat. Nice. Thanks. Hi.
Now this has given up the ghost.
Oh, really?
It's working.
So it tracks the pieces?
There's a read switch under each one,
oh. Okay, so it doesn't know which is what.
No, it does not know which is what. It just knows there's a piece there.
Okay, that's
so
cool.
When you move it,
yeah, that makes sense.
It knows what you've done, but it's a 6502 base.
Oh, so like the NES and the
back in the day.
and the computers of that era.
This is a 1983. That one is a 1981.
Okay.
I bought both of them new.
That's cool.
Fidelity was a company based in Chicago at the time, so I thought the locals would be interested in
that makes sense.
Knowing that there were computers made in Chicago.
Yeah, surprising.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, they weren't really made here. But, I mean, man, that is a nice looking machine.
Yeah, it looks good.
Machine. But
is that actual wood?
Yes.
Okay.
This was $300 in 1980s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had done some consulting and had some money, and chess was a passion at the time.
That's neat.
So I bought one. Well, I bought that one, and I liked it so much that when I saw the Big Brother, I had to have it.
Yeah.
This was only a little over $100.
Okay.
But this is $1,000 in today's dollars.
Yeah, that's a lot. So pretty rare, probably.
Fairly, I saw one for sale on Germany Day last week, and it was bid up to 260 euros.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure what the conversion rate is these days.
It's about even.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
It's about even.
Nice.
And a guy told me today, he said, he looked at this and he says, it's a Septennial. They only made 500 of those,
Oh, wow.
And there's collectors that want this, so. Is it Jack here? Jack is here. If he's here, you'll see him there.
Nice. Thanks.
But I haven't seen him all morning.
Is this part of the annual? Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is miscellaneous boards that go with it. This is configured as about a 1979 era Chuck E. Cheese animatronic system. So you got the reel-to-reel with audio and data. You got the 6502 processor in there.
Oh, really? It's a really common CPU.
It's not just that. If you look at the schematics for this, if you look at the architecture for this is my replica board. But
oh, really?
If you, all the dark green ones are made by PCBWay that I did. I didn't get the font exactly perfect, but I didn't worry about that. All the placement is exactly perfect, though.
Nice.
If you look at the architecture for this, if you look at the font on the schematics and the handwriting, this was designed by the crew that did the Atari 2600.
Oh, really?
Because Nolan Bushnell was the head of Atari at the time, and he
was
involved in getting Pizza Time Theater off the ground.
Okay.
So he tasked his engineers to make this, and they took an Atari 2600, jiggled it around a little bit, and added a bunch of other crap, and said, "Here you go."
That's cool.
So this is the same people's design aesthetic.
Huh.
And so you got a CPU, you got a biphase encoded serial decoder board that takes the audio and decodes it into an RS-232 serial stream.
Okay.
And some zero crossings for it to detect other stuff.
Yeah.
You got an audio multiplexing board, which isn't present in there right now because we don't need one.
Right.
Also, the only two I've ever seen are in a museum. And I could have them made, but it's like $60 for 5 boards. So if I didn't need it, I wasn't going to do it.
Makes sense.
But it's basically a 6821, which is this parallel I/O chip.
Okay.
And then a bunch of analog junk to do the audio multiplexing. But on these boards, they're 6821s.
So it connects to the animatronics.
Yes. So this is parallel I/O chip, PNP transistor, a bunch of open collector outputs. So this controls 24 volts out here, and that goes to this board. And you bolt your pneumatic cylinders to here, connect them up to there, and that controls the animatronics.
Nice.
There's a bunch of other minutiae I could get into about the original ones and what this circuit does and why this is here and why it's not used anymore and the different variants of the audio card. I have written up 30 to 40% of what I know on my blog.
I'll check it out.
There's a stack of business cards there. Feel free to drop by, stay in touch.
Nice.
I hope to get around to writing up everything else I know before I forget it.
Yeah.
Hopefully before the end of the year I'll have a few more posts on this. But I've been in this pretty deep for like a year learning all this stuff. I have replicas of every single board here, except for this one because it's complicated and I haven't gotten to it yet. That one because it's not super important, and the backplane because it's big.
Makes sense.
But I intend to have all of those done before the end of the year, because I've already had a request for someone who wanted one of these.
Okay.
That's easy to do. And if I add the backplane to it, suddenly you can build your own from scratch without needing to buy any parts off of eBay.
Yeah.
Like, you get one of these, one of those, 5 of those, and a backplane, and then there you go. You have a whole working system.
Good for preservation in the sense that the knowledge is still there.
And the important thing about the older boards, like, this is not a special board. I would not expect anyone to want to make this board exactly.
Yeah.
But I have put it in KiCad and I have put it on GitHub, because if you have one of these boards and you have a shorted trace or you have a broken chip or you have something and you're like, how do I fix this? Being able to take this and put it up against the digital copy that is exactly the same, you click the trace, it highlights where it goes, so you can follow it on the board under the chips. It's more of a diagnostic assistant than it is, I expect you to make one of these boards from scratch.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so much easier to fix the boards if you have a digital clone of it. That being said, I do have this logo on the boards, on the KiCad version, perfectly authentic, and it looks great. So if you do make them, it will look perfectly authentic.
Nice.
But I don't expect anyone to bother.
Yeah.
Mostly because these use dip footprints with soldered jumpers in them.
Okay.
To say what character they are. And the later generation from 1993 on used dip switches. And so you can just flip those on the fly. The problem is you can't flip more than one at once. This, if you just pull out one of these and plug it into something else, you're not going to break anything because there's only one wire in there.
Okay.
These, if I do this and I plug it into the machine, something will break. And the only defense against that is this text, which if you don't read it or you don't understand it, you could break something. So the old ones are more foolproof. The new ones are more flexible. There's trade-offs.
Nice. I thought the XDs were smaller. I used to have one of those. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, Fujifilm was the one that, at least one of the companies that was doing the XD thing. Oh, it says Olympus on it too.
Yep,
huh.
yeah, Fuji and Olympus both made them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're very hard to get now.
Oh, I probably still have mine. I'm not sure. It was a 1 gigabyte.
Yeah, they're not actually that hard to get. They're just expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, this is interesting.
What is that?
So this is the first digital Polaroid, handmade in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1996.
Okay.
It has a 40 megabyte spinning hard drive.
Huh.
An 800 by 600 sensor that's interpolated to about 1 megapixel.
Okay.
It autofocuses with a sonar transceiver.
Wow, that's different.
It has a removable lens. They sold exactly 2 optional lenses for it.
Huh.
And then every single lens element is fixed. In order to focus, it moves the entire image sensor.
Wow.
That's a whole...
Yeah, that's interesting. Never seen that.
Magnesium chassis too.
Wow.
So it's a whole weird...
What does the back of it look like?
Interesting.
Okay. So it doesn't have a screen or anything? Oh, it has a tripod connector on the bottom. Okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this was actually what got me into the whole camera thing. I'm also interested in old computers, as with probably everybody here. And I was browsing eBay for parts, and I came across that, and I was like, that looks like a goddamn space gun. I need it.
Yeah.
And then
Never seen
went
that.
through it communicates over SCSI, which is another odd port.
Oh.
It has a proprietary SCSI cable.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. The first one that I bought didn't come with the cable, and I didn't know that at the time.
Man.
So then I had to buy a second one.
Okay.
But there were none available online, so I ended up buying it off some German Craigslist site through some other person to ship it to me.
Huh. That's crazy. I'll take a look at your Instagram and stuff. Do you make videos and stuff and such?
I've been thinking about it. I don't have any skills to do that, but I want to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about just starting a shitty little YouTube channel and seeing what this is.
Yeah. I do YouTube videos and such, like walking around taking photography, and then this thing is like showing me take photos. Yeah.
I literally don't own a video camera.
Oh.
Even I couldn't even do it with my phone.
Oh. Yeah, that's true.
So that's been like the
that makes sense.
I could do it. But what video camera do I want?
Yeah.
Do I want to get a weird old one and be weird? Or do I just get a cheap new one? And
depends on the look, right? If you want it to look different, you could get an old one, but the challenges of older cameras for video is rough.